to Monumental Moments, where we live to multiply His movement. I'm Melissa Machenbacher, and this is a place we passionately pursue and proclaim Jesus. Today's monumental moment is titled, Hear Ye, Hear Ye. Do you have an image in your head when you hear, Hear ye, hear ye? Often we can picture someone with a loud voice making a public statement in the town square. Usually the announcement is loudly projected from the town crier that's dressed in a fancy uniform made up of a large hat, crisp coat boasting shiny buttons and colorful cords, clean breeches, and freshly polished boots. We can't forget the bell in one hand and the scroll with the official announcement in the other. Have you seen historical movies or reenactments with town criers? The messenger stands out in public in formal attire. He rings the bell and broadcasts the news while standing in a prominent location amongst the city square. Suddenly you hear, Hear ye, hear ye. In other words, it's time to listen up for important news. You may think town criers are archaic these days since we have modern day media, but some countries still employ town criers. This may be news to you, but there's even an annual International Town Criers competition and an annual International Town Criers Day. I was reading my Bible camped out in the book of Daniel. As I studied, I read the words of King Nebuchadnezzar. I know that he was the king, but I envisioned him just for a moment as the town crier. Let me give you further context. King Nebuchadnezzar made an important public statement. It happened after the fiery furnace incident with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. It was in Daniel chapter 3. The three men were bound and thrown into a burning furnace that King Nebuchadnezzar ordered to be heated 7 times hotter than usual, all because these three men refused to serve his gods or worship the large golden image that he had created. This golden monument that he had constructed was about 90 feet tall by 90 feet wide, or about the height of an 8-story building after we do the cubic conversion. It was quite the golden image. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego refused to worship this image. Instead, they trusted in the Almighty God rather than bowing to someone's unknown God. The king asked them directly if it were true that they did not serve his gods or worship his golden image. They replied in Daniel chapter 3, verses 16 through 18. O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king. But if not, be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up. The men were then thrown into this blazing, fiery furnace that was so hot, the flame of the fire killed the soldiers who carried up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego as they dropped the men into the fire. The story did not end there. Seeing what was transpiring within the furnace, King Nebuchadnezzar jumped up in amazement and he asked his advisors, Did we not cast 3 men bound into the fire? They confirmed 3 men were thrown into the fire. The king went on to say in Daniel chapter 3, verses 25 through 27, But I see 4 men unbound walking in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt, and the appearance of the 4th is like a son of the gods. Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the door of the burning fiery furnace. He declared, Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out and come here. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came out from the fire. And the satraps, the prefects, the governors, and the king's counselors gathered together and saw that the fire had not had any power over the bodies of those men. The hair of their heads was not singed, their cloaks were not harmed, and no smell of fire had come upon them. Suddenly, there was a shift that had happened within the heart of the king. We read in Daniel chapter 3, verses 28 through 30, Nebuchadnezzar answered and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted in him, and set aside the king's command and yielded up their bodies rather than serve and worship any god except their own God. Therefore, I make a decree. Any people, nation, or language that speaks anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be torn limb for limb, and their houses laid in ruins. For there is no other God who is able to rescue in this way. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon. Witnessing this miracle, the king had a new message and a worldwide proclamation in his heart. It's as if King Nebuchadnezzar was suddenly a town crier. Listen to what we read in Daniel chapter 4, verses 1 through 3. King Nebuchadnezzar, to all peoples, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied to you. It has seemed good to me to show the signs and wonders that the Most High God has done for me. How great are his signs, how mighty his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion endures from generation to generation. In other words, hear ye, all peoples, nations, languages, and those in all the earth. Let me show you the signs and wonders the Most High God has done for me. King Nebuchadnezzar had highs and he had lows and he had times of uncertainty in his life. We all do. He also saw miracles from the Most High God, and he decided to tell the world about them. Are we willing to go to such lengths? Do we tell the world about the Most High God and what he's done for us as we've witnessed his miracles? What great signs and wonders have you seen? What mighty works have you experienced? What has God done for you? What has he done for others around you? What proclamations are you making? Tell others of God's everlasting kingdom. Hear ye, hear ye. You take it from here. How can you make monumental moments and live to multiply his movement today?